it's Danny, and this is my final video of this little mini healing diary that I started just to document what I was going through recovering from surgery and having my heart removed. Like I've said many times, I just wanted to live on the internet for anyone that is doing their Googles should they find themselves in this situation. So I'm at the end of my road in terms of this healing journey. In my last video, I know I mentioned just wanting to have my PICC line removed and being done with the vancomycin. So that happened. The PICC line is out. It's gone. My arm is back to myself. I just have a little dot. And soon enough, that'll be all healed and cleared away. And it's really just a memory at this point. I get those 3 hours a day back to myself since I don't have to infuse anymore. So I'm really happy about that. Since the PICC line was removed, that also means that I said goodbye to my home health nurse, who was really great. I had the same nurse since August. I've been seeing her regularly for almost a year at this point. So saying goodbye to her was bittersweet because I think she's great and I like her as a person, but it's also a good thing because I don't need her anymore. I will say having a great nurse and having a nurse that genuinely cares about her patients, it made such a big difference. Saying goodbye to my nurse was bittersweet, but like I said, it's a good thing. And I did start working out. I did want to start before I got the PICC line out. I thought I could start before I got the PICC line out, but that did not work. It didn't work. I bled through the port. When I still had the PICC line in, it started to bleed just from very simple movements. I did not even get into Pilates fully. So I decided to wait until the PICC line was removed and it had healed over. Definitely I have improvements to make. So I won't say it negatively, but I definitely have improvements to make in terms of my practice, and my balance is not what it used to be. My strength is not what it used to be, but I'm looking forward to working with my new back, my healed back, and getting to a place that's a little more familiar with me, and like pushing myself in that way. So I'm really excited to see what that looks like. Can tell that I have a little more comfort doing certain moves in Pilates without the hardware, and I was really curious about that. So I'm happy to see that I can feel that difference already. And yeah, this is the end of the road. I was mostly apprehensive because prior to needing the hardware removed, I didn't know it was something that happened. It's not something that usually happens in terms of a spinal fusion. It's not common to have the hardware taken out. So I was really afraid to, I was afraid to have another back surgery. It's not a part of your body that you want people digging around in too much. And looking back on it now, I know I just needed to get through that and get to the point where I'm at now, which is like pain-free and not miserable. I can't complain. So I feel really good, and I think back on being in the hospital after this final surgery. I remember waking up and no, I don't remember waking up. I remember a couple hours after getting out of surgery, I could tell that I was feeling relief already. Of course, I was very medicated at that point in time, but up until those last few weeks leading up to surgery, I was getting really horrible stabbing sensations in my back, and there was nothing that was relieving it because the source was the hardware. And I remember after surgery, I felt relief already. I think I got maybe 2 pangs of a stabbing sensation after surgery and then never again. And I just have to credit that to the hardware being out and really great medicine. So if this is on your horizon, find a team that you trust, feel comfortable with the people that are going to be caring for you, and just remember you're gonna go to sleep and you're gonna wake up and you're just gonna get through that recovery ahead of you. And just think that it's a little bump to get through. No one is looking forward to back surgery or any type of surgery, but once you get through it, that the healing is on the other side, and getting to that place, that point in your life where you're like pain-free and not miserable anymore, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm fully aware, my doctor was pretty honest with me that in my 60s, which is like 30 years from now, 31 years if I'm being approximate, another back surgery could be on my horizon. And I'm not interested in that. So all I know is that I can just do what makes myself feel good and what makes me feel strong. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on for the rest of my life. I'm speaking on it now. I'm never having back surgery again. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but I'll worry about that later. I think about the past year, and there's so many points it seemed like this whole process is never going to end, and I'm just happy that this chapter is really closed, and I'm really, really blessed. I mean, God has definitely looked out for me this entire time. There have been so many little mini miracles that have happened in the midst of a really crappy situation. There's so many things that worked out and played out in a way that it just feels divine, and I know it is. So holding on to those little moments in the midst of the stress and like the pain and the tears, holding on to those little instances where you're like, this really did work out for me, that's definitely gotten me through this past year. So I'm grateful for that. And lastly, if anyone, if you're doing any sort of communication with your insurance company, whenever you call and they say, just so you know, this call is being recorded, that also gives you the freedom to record the call as well. And that's all I'll say. Protect yourself.